What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so it's Friday, so we got the Friday market watch here. There wasn't as much movement, in the market because of the 250th YCS. I thought that was gonna have a way bigger impact, but nonetheless, I still got some pretty cool cards to pick out. So without further ado, let's go just get into the cards. If you like what we do here, please feel free to like and subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Trying to get a 1,000 subscribers. Want to do giveaways at all the major milestones. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the cards. Okay, so it's kind of funny how I talked about the 250th YCS and how it didn't really have too much of an impact on the market. This card was used, was used there, and there was a couple people that were choosing to use this card. There's also a lot of people choosing to use Ash, so there was a lot of that, but there wasn't too much of the motion in the market. Even this card right here, I just noticed that both versions kind of seem like they do have a bit of a bump, because it was kind of going about, the unlimited was 25 a while ago. Now they're all going for 30, but pretty much right here you got a 28.50 with the $1 shipping, so you only got $29. So it looks like, and these are the near mint first did, that's at 29, so they are starting to slowly come down. But yeah, these cards are, this is starting to go up. This card is really good. I was very interested in this card, and I wanted to get the Starlight version, but I ended up just holding off on it. And the Starlight hasn't gone anywhere, so I'm glad I didn't jump on that one. But this is one of them that I did kind of have an idea. She is a waifu. She does have meta potential, but it is very niche. You rather just take care of the monsters, you with either a kaiju or Nibiru, something like that. She is good, but I don't know about this price good, but she did put in work, so she's at $30, so $29 if you have her. So we're going to continue with a couple of cards from Power of the Elements. Let's start with the Garua Wings of Resonant Life. I thought these were $15. No, they're not. So you got the Unlimiteds, they're at $21.75, almost $22. Near mint first dead, $23. $22.94, so pretty much $23. So you're pretty much looking at $23 free for this card. It really, I'm not saying it just makes sense, but you do have a lot of people playing branded, and a lot of them are playing super poly, and this is one of the best super poly targets. There's two monsters, same type, different attribute, but different names. It's one, you want to have a little super poly package, you need to have this card. It only has two printings, and it's pretty much just it's first edition and then it's non-first edition, which is something that Konami really doesn't do hasn't done a non-first edition release in a while, so I was very interested in that. But that really hasn't affected the price of this card, just because of how important this card is. You have Mud Dragon, and you have the Starving Venom. You have these other cards that, yeah, they get you out of these situations, but there are a lot more situations that two monsters with the same type of different attribute but different names. There's way too many situations where you just need Garua, so that kind of just makes sense. This card right here is going for $22, $22 to $23, no matter which version you're looking at. Ultimate Slayer from Power of the Elements. This is another card that I personally really like. I really like Ultimate Slayer. I understand there's cards like Dark Ruler or more, which I guess inherently are just better because they, it's the same thing. Your opponent can activate, monster effects in response to this, and you essentially just turn off all of, you turn off all the current monster effects on the field. That really takes care of negates. But I like Ultimate Slayer because it has that extra element of being able to send something from the extra deck to the graveyard. Unfortunately, as much as I love this card, I don't know when exactly this is going to have its exact perfect niche. But maybe in the purely format, maybe those a lot of XYZs you want to take care of, there's a lot. I don't want to just 100% because I haven't really gotten too much testing into it, but I do like Ultimate Slayer as a card. This card is just completely going everywhere. The first edition has just gone all over the place, and you could essentially get this card for let's see. You got the Near Mint Unlimited, $15.82, pretty much $16. If we go to the second page, we'll probably find more first editions. Got a lot of first editions for $16. So essentially, you get this card for $16. I would honestly just get my playset. I wouldn't go out and get 9 copies of this card, but I would have a playset for myself just in case. Because I don't think that Part of the Elements is going to be the 10. So we'll see what Ultimate Slayer is. But right now, if you want to get this card, you get it for about $15 to $16. All right, and then so another thing I wanted to go over is a couple of the other cards from Power of the Elements. We went over these three real quick, but you got a Primitive Planet, Perilino. This is like another card that it's I had a player in my locals the other week. He's saying he was playing Copium, and I was like, "You're playing what?" And then he activated, he activated, the field spin. Like, oh, okay, you're playing your elements, and I very much like understand how it is. Like, this card was at $70. It crashed down to like 50, then to 30. Here it is at the $30 price point, and then now it's even crashing even harder as the deck just completely falls out of favor. There is one version of the deck that I have seen people have a bit of success with, but we're pretty much playing tier element Kashtira. It's basically Kashtira with a little tier element package. So this is just completely kind of going down. You could get these right here for pretty much like $15 for a first ed. That's it's a really big and crazy fall. And then it's in Rhino Planet. You have Ultimate Slayer. Then you have Sprite Starter. And then you have Gigantic Sprite. Those I've already covered those cards. Now I want to talk about Exo Sister Martha. I understand that like Exo Sisters have kind of fallen out of favor a bit, just because it was a really good like matchup because they ran. It was pretty much like the reason why, like the same reason why Flan and Reeds were really good, was the same reason why Exo Sisters were really good about maybe 2 formats ago, was because they ran really good under Shifter, and Shifter would just shut things down. Like Shifter shut everything down. It slowed down, like it shut down the best deck. It slowed down every single other deck that played against it, and only a few decks could really play under it. So it really like to be honest, that's why I feel that Exo Sister had such a push that it did. I'm not saying it's not a good deck. Like I don't want people saying, "Oh, you think it sucks." No, I think the deck's very good. It has has good combos, but it mainly was pushed by the fact that it could play under Shifter. Like inherently the deck was not as good as like Flounder Reeds, especially well that was only because Flounder Reeds could get out the barrier statue. So I guess that's just like my personal opinion, but still nonetheless I wouldn't count this deck out, especially once the Castiras fall out of the format and maybe the graveyard becomes more of like a resource again, and this becomes like a very good rogue tier 2 or maybe even tier 1 option. You got the Martha right here, a near mid first edition. Let's see, if 749, so that's like 749, 479. So with the dollar, we're looking at, let's see, because you got more of them here. So I'm looking at more of like a $6 to $7 card. So like this card right here is about $6 to $7, which isn't really bad because it's like Martha that really kind of like push the deck over to like give them its better combos. But if we look at the other stuff and everything else from Grand Creators right here, you got packs. This card is kind of mid on a little bit of a roller coaster, but right here you got Light Plate First Ed for like $5.99. Then after this one's gone, it's $6.89. So it's pretty much like $7. Like once these two are gone, it's like a $7 card. So the Exo Citrus stuff is still worth money. Like if you have it on the side and you got it just as like a fun deck and you need some money, or maybe you're thinking about picking it up, the deck is very very much worth money. Like we go over here to Exo Sister Kylus. I'm always mispronouncing a lot of these words, but you got her right here. She's still worth like $5. So you got like $4.49 with the $1 shipping. So she's kind of like in the $5 range. Let's see, you also have Exo Sister Sophia. She is actually I remember I pulled a whole bunch of her and I didn't even know I did, and I was like, oh, look for some Exo Sister stuff, and I found a big old stack of these things, and I was like, are you serious? I didn't even know that she was like worth money, just because I was so not really into the Exo Sister hype, because like I saw them as a cool deck but not really something that was really for me. But they're still worth money. There's still value in these cards. Like this card was a little higher, was kind of at 6. It has like a little bit of a dip, but it has kind of bounced back, and it is kind of slowly starting to like trying to stabilize right here. You get the near mid first deads for about $4 with the $1 shipping, so about $5. Light Plate First Dead $4.75. So this card is about in the $5 range. Let's see if you try to get the set for $12. So yeah, that's all for the Exo Sister. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. I knew it. I knew it. I told y'all, pick up your Excel Synchro Stardust Dragons. I talked about it on my last investment review Synchro edition. I mentioned that this card is probably going to go up, and I was very much right. Nor that $45 price. This U is freaking hilarious. It's Uing up. We got all these Japanese versions. Then after that, damn, 33.95, 33.96, 33.98. This card has essentially doubled in price. I told you guys to get, I told you guys buy this card when it was about 16.85, about the 15 to $16 price point. I went to my locals and bought all the copies. I feel like a fool. I should have ran down to every single person who had one and just got all their copies. I knew this was going to happen. I'm kicking myself. I'm kicking myself a little harder than I should. I did end up with a couple copies, so I'm not too disappointed because I do have enough. I do have copies, so I'm good. I'd be able to keep on going. But this was one of those calls where I was like, man, this is like a no-brainer. I went out and was like, yeah, let me get this, let me get that. And this weekend, I swear, I planned to go get a full freaking 9 copies of these. And no, the market was quicker than me, but at the same time, stuff happens. I don't have all the time in the world just to go out and to get all these cards. So, but like I said, if you listen and you went out and got your copies, you are pretty much sitting pretty. We got right here 4 of them for about $3.95, so it's $33.95. So it's probably gonna hold at this like $34 price point. But yeah, so if you buy these at $15, $16, they're pretty much more than double price by now. Cyframe Gear Gamma. So a lot of people are running Ash Blossom, and Cyframe Gear Gamma is like one of the best counters to. Well, it's one of the best counters to any kind of like monster effects. Like not only do they negates and destroys it, but it also gives you 2 bodies. So if it's done on if it's done on your opponent's turn, the bodies could protect you in a battle phase. Or or if it's done on your turn, you can actually use the bodies to link or use them to like a synchro. So I've always loved Cypher Gear Gamma. Every time I get a chance to use it in one of my decks, I love using it. This was one of my first calls, like when I first started investing in Yu-Gi-Oh. I got a whole bunch of these when they were like 50 cents a piece, and I was like, oh, these are going to be like $3, $4, $5. These actually ended up going at $5 at one point. And right now they're kind of fluctuating, going everywhere. But it looks like for the rares right here, you get unlimiteds for about $3.50, and light play first editions for let's see, like it looks like with the shipping it's about $4. So it's about like $2 for unlib, and then it's about $3 for first edition. That's just for the rare. And then for the original one, actually has been going up a little bit. Like it was kind of around 20, and it was kind of low, but now it's kind of starting to shoot up. And that's that's probably just because people are just starting to throw Ash back in the format. Like when you when you have a lot of cards that could get ashed, and you have a lot of combos where starters don't put monsters on the board, then Cypher Gear Gamma is just one of those no-brainers that like players either forget about or have to really play around, which makes it easier for you to play around. It makes it easier for you to play around in general, because they're gonna have to wait till the right opportunity to use their hand trap. So it lets you get more of your combo out, so you could probably put up some type of board if they do have a hand trap. So yeah, that's kind of something that to kind of like think about with this card. But the original ultra rare from High Speed Riders is going up. We'll look at Lifelink First Ed for about $24.97. So about $25 for the original First Ed version. So you got the highest rarity for about $25. You got the lowest rarity for about $3. You got some mid rarities, about $3 for the premium gold, and the super rare is kind of going up a little bit. It is, let's see, it is like in the $7 to $8 price range. So the super is starting to go up. And the last card I want to talk about is Muckraker from the Underworld from Darkwing Blast. This card is I've seen people use it in Labyrinth. It is also used in the Dark World deck, to do all the combos. I remember kind of covering this card, and I thought it already sunk down, but no, it's still kind of holding up this price point. So just kind of beware, this is still, $14.90. It's still pretty much like a $15 card. So if you have these, pull these, or if you just have them on the side, they're still $15. I gauge your trade value, sell them, do what you got, kind of do what you gotta do with them. I really don't see them going any higher, because although you never really know with Yu-Gi-Oh, I think Darkwing Blast is gonna be in the tens. So maybe around when you're closer to like the end, to World or WCQ, maybe if there's a chance that a deck that uses Muckraker she'll go up, but I think she's gonna stay in this $15 price point for a while. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.